Welcome back to Banned by PBS, Muslims Against Jihad. As we told you, the documentary we're presenting tonight was not produced by Fox News. It was produced by an independent production company, ABG Films, which received a $675,000 grant to make it. ABG set out to answer a question that many of us have been asking since 9/11. Where are the moderate Muslims, and why are they not speaking out against the radicals who preach terror, who oppress women, and who call for death to America and the West? Their answer was supposed to run on the national PBS network in prime time as part of its America at a Crossroads series. Then PBS executives reviewed ABG's work, 2 films, 1 hour each. They dismissed the filmmakers' work as alarmist, not responsible journalism, fails the most basic journalism 101 test. We don't agree. We think what you're watching, the second of those 2 films, is a fine piece of journalism that addresses a central issue of our time. Up next, director-producer Martin Burke takes us into the world of Islamic honor killings, families murdering their own.
In Canada over 2 decades ago, Pakistani-born Rizwana Jaffrey made a fateful decision as to which of her 2 worlds she would live in when she decided to marry her non-Muslim boyfriend. What happened?
Well, a huge blow up. All I remember is being downstairs and my mother screaming and crying and saying, "How can you do this to us?" And,
all because you were marrying a non-Muslim?
That's right, that's right. I think also for them, all their daughters had been through arranged marriages and they couldn't understand why I wouldn't follow through on the same path. But that was their sentiment, was that what I was doing would shame them, it would bring dishonor and disrespect to the family.
In many cases of young Muslim women daring to follow their heart, the result is tragic. Honor killings, they are called, where the men in the family murder a sister, a daughter, a niece who have defied their commands. This blurred image is from a Danish tabloid newspaper. It is a photo taken from a cell phone. It shows a man pointing a pistol at the head of his sister, whom he has just knocked to the ground in a small Danish town square. She had been in hiding with the man she loved, the man she married, against her family's wishes. As she is on the ground, her brother pulls the trigger and kills her.
This picture is of her on the ground, with her brother standing over her, showing his power with the gun. And then he shoots her to show that she has brought shame to the family. So they decided she had to be killed. The best example of an honor killing is this one that was carried out last year in Denmark. After that, there was an enormous controversy about this topic, and that helped a Pakistani man to prevent the honor killing of his own sister.
It was to have been an honor killing in a large family, one that from its photo album would seem to make such a crime almost unthinkable, at least until Mohammed Rafiq's younger sister announced she wanted to divorce her husband and was told by her father that he would not allow her to divorce. And when she persisted, Mohammed Rafiq's father gave him an order.
My parents wanted me to kill my sister, and I said I wouldn't do it, because that's not what we do here in Denmark. But that's our culture in Pakistan. They wanted me to kill her because she wanted a divorce from her husband.
Mohammed Rafiq and his wife Kulsum are Pakistani immigrants whose marriage was arranged for them by their families. Now living in a small town outside Copenhagen, their lives are a balancing act between the old ways and the ways of the West.
I told my dad that I loved my sister, and you have to kill me first. And then my father said, okay, I'll take care of it myself. And then he threatened me, and my wife warned me, but I didn't think he would go through with it. I was standing here with my 9-year-old son, and then I saw some Pakistanis approach. There were 7 or 8 guys, and I saw my father. Then they walked up, and they grabbed me right here. My dad was sitting in a car and was pointing at me and shouting, "Kill him." And then they hit me with a cricket bat on my right knee, and then they continued to hit me on my forehead while kicking me also. Our imams do not say you should kill your sisters or whatever, but it's inherent in our culture. It's like an unwritten rule that that's what you do.
In late 2006, Mohammed Rafiq's father was convicted of assault and was sentenced to prison. But the Danish judge did not believe there was sufficient evidence to support a charge involving the so-called honor killing. And yet not all acts of disobedience in such matters of the heart lead to unhappy endings.
The next morning, I got up, got dressed. I bought this lovely long white dress that I couldn't afford on my student wages at that time. My girlfriend came to pick me up to take me to City Hall where we were going to get married. And while we were at the in the judge's chambers, my family walked in. It was a little bit awkward, to be honest with you, because we had been at odds for so long, and there had been so much acrimony and so many tears. I think I just hugged my parents and cried at that point.
How are your parents now?
Oh, they love him. My dad will tell you that he treats him like a son.
Coming up, on the trail of an Islamist terror network that reaches from Copenhagen to Bosnia, London, Toronto, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. You'll also hear a stunning charge of liberal bias at PBS, an allegation that executives tried to blackball one of this film's producers because he was a conservative. Banned by PBS, Muslims Against Jihad returns after the news break.